Fine for beating up a blind man. Oh, God. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Daredevil Born Again. We are on the second episode of the season, which is called Optics. So the first episode started off with a bang, I think. We got a introduction into where the world is for Matt, what has gone down. We unfortunately lost one of Matt's best friends. Now Wilson Fisk is the mayor of New York, and Matt is definitely going through a bit of an identity crisis right now because he's not donned the suit now in over a year, but it's clear that there is definitely a need for someone to help clean up the streets, and apparently Wilson says he's going to do it, but Matt doesn't really trust him. So we set the stage for what's definitely going to be some very tense interactions going forward, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things are going to go now. So let's jump into episode 2, but just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know of when I drop episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. That's right, this was his last role.
Let me touch up your eye.
Ah, scar's still there.
City is in shambles. Crime, poverty.
Not drinking alone, Matthew, and sunglasses in the house, bro. Bro.
We don't need a gun-toting vigilante who wears a skull on his chest, or a man who dresses in a spider outfit.
Not the Spider-Man drop!
Devil horns to save us.
Oh, that was personal, Wilson. I can't believe he mentioned both Spider-Man and Punisher. Listen, if Peter Parker makes an appearance in this, I would actually pass out. Oh, how you are, Kamar. Marvel really needs to stop this habit of having actors that are sick when they're working. Breaks my heart. I bet you that guy's gonna run away. I knew as soon as I heard the train someone was gonna end up in front of it. He didn't technically throw him.
Do not move.
But he wasn't doing a bad thing. How else, what was he supposed to know? How, my brother better not get arrested for this, because how? He was doing the right thing. How was he supposed to know y'all were cops in New York? And even then, I'd still be a little sus, even if they were cops.
How old do you think this desk is?
Huh?
Vanessa would know by sight.
Why don't you ask her then?
He was a hero of my father's, you know.
The father you hated and took out? What's going on with your fist there, Mr. Wilson? Thought we weren't angry anymore.
These meet and greets, can't we push them?
Hey, welcome to being an actual politician. So no.
Optics are going to matter.
Ooh, episode title.
Let's be honest, a lot of these people absolutely hate you.
With just cause.
Your wife?
What about Vanessa?
However, Vanessa's resistance to being part of the narrative is hurting you with more traditional voters.
Could you grant us a little leeway?
Oh, look
Absolutely.
at that. Words, not fists. He's like, give me some time to see if I can bribe her. Because she hates my face.
You are gonna sign a confession.
Not coercion. Didn't I say? Even if it is the cops, you gotta keep an eye on them.
I didn't call you. How did you get in here?
You know they're saying you killed a cop.
All I was trying to do
Kind
was
of
help a guy out.
accidentally did.
Is there anything you're not telling me?
I mean,
No, man.
I'm kind of a good fighter. I might have kind of sort of tossed him in the way of the tracks.
You're in good hands, Hector.
Wait, hold up.
Allstate.
You're blind.
And? Yeah, no, he definitely threw that cop onto the tracks, but I don't think he meant to kill him. Why does that look like the Hulk just fell from a building right there?
It's the red tape. We're waiting on the permit approval. Consider it approved. Got it. No!
So that's what being a mayor is fixing a pot. Okay.
Filling a hole like this, it's not rocket science. Remember I told you that I'd get things done. Well, here I am getting them done.
Sure. There might be other things going on, like maybe there's some structural issues beneath the hole. They want to make sure that whatever caused the hole doesn't, create more holes. But okay, you've got it handled, Fisk.
Matt, you take on this case, it's gonna look like you're siding against the whole NYPD.
Kirsten, what did I tell you to get you to come over from the DA's office?
You said that I was brilliant, which was true.
Mm-hmm.
You said we'd take on the hard cases.
And impossible odds work is what we do here.
If you wanted a cushy job, you would have gone to a bigger firm, girl.
I believe him, Cherry.
Okay.
Former cop. I have a feeling that guy on the platform is doing something illegal, clearly.
Wait,
but
he's innocent or his story doesn't track?
Both.
both can be true. There were cameras in that subway, were there not? What happened to the footage?
Is your wife here?
No.
Charged with murder in the first degree, second degree, and manslaughter in the first degree.
Benjamin Hochberg, Your Honor, representing the people of...
First degree? How?
Mr. Ayala is a decorated Army veteran. He has no record. He served as a CPA for 15 years. He's a pillar of his community.
He's also accused of killing a New York City police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Next case, please. Thank you, Your Honor.
Wow. We're getting paid off.
I must say, your coverage of my campaign was spot on.
That's it.
Just BP. That was named for my uncle.
Ben Urich.
Yeah.
I knew him.
And how did he die?
The NYPD's rank and file are planning on standing behind their guy in protest of you, Mr. Mayor. The force is already woefully understaffed, and you've got vigilantes picking up the slack.
She is her uncle's girl.
Thank you, Miss Urich.
Get out. How dare you be smart and stuff.
I have a feeling that this young woman is used to being underestimated. We'll use that.
Damn. We'll see how good you are, BB.
Dr. Glenn, I need help
Okay.
taking any new clients.
I'm sure we can work something out.
Thank you. Truly.
This is a good idea. He looks like the kind of man that's going to stalk you till you die.
Thank you.
Why?
I wonder how it feels for a guy like you to come to a place like this.
Indeed.
Are you even capable of feeling guilt or remorse?
Not really.
I didn't kill Officer Shanahan.
Maybe not him, but...
Yeah, I was about to say, we're going to get specific. You want to get
Still,
tit for tat here? Okay.
it is my personal mission to make sure that your term is shorter than his.
Cojones. I respect.
Mayor who loves his city, you're a whiny kid who wants everyone to love him. A monster trying to rewrite his legacy.
Spot on.
See you around, Kingpin.
He's got a pair. They're heavy. Let's see if you've really changed.
Whatever's going on between you and Hector, I'm really hoping you can set it aside. He needs you.
He needs me or he needs me to show up in court.
Uh-oh.
Hector, he's not the man I married.
How so? Oh, that's you, bro. That's why you can fight.
Belize I like.
The jewel in the heart.
Has Matt even traveled outside of New York? Seems like he never leaves.
Maybe later I can give you a taste.
Man, we are at dinner.
Guess what I found?
So that's why he's not the man she married anymore. He became a vigilante.
You hide your identity. You go out and solve things the way you see fit.
Talking to yourself here, Matt?
Someone's got to protect the streets. People are going missing. No one seems to care. It's not like Daredevil's around anymore.
Oop!
I can find this out. You better believe the DA's office can.
Let them. The people need a hero.
It's not the way they're gonna paint you, bro.
You will need a new police commissioner, and guess what? A lot of new cops as well. Goodbye, Fisk.
Not on his sandwich.
You're originally from Philadelphia.
Born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days.
I think that the best is one I've found. It's actually right outside of the city.
Is he allowed to eat cheesesteaks? Isn't he on a diet?
D'Angelo's in King of Prussia. Cashman's coyotes drive down there and pick me one up for lunch.
Mm-hmm. Old Fisk is back.
Namaste. Be careful what you wish for.
Well played.
Was it?
No.
Was it?
Sandwich was disgusting.
Just like you, threatening a child. That's okay, Fisk. You're such a hypocrite. Weren't you the one that was crashing out back in season 1 about your girl Vanessa? And season 2 too?
Same way My judgment is clouded because of who Hector is.
Because of who you are. Because of who you were.
I mean, he took it before he knew who Hector was.
You know I know he was telling the truth. And we both know it doesn't matter if you can't prove it.
Sadly. I don't blame that guy who ran off for not coming forward, though. First of all, I think he's into something shady. And second of all, he knows that if he gets all of NYPD on his butt, it's not going to be good times. Uh-oh. Matt's going back to church. It's getting serious. Gonna go see your mama? Is this the other cop? Mm-hmm. It was a walk sign, Mr. Taxi Driver, for the record.
So?
Oh.
So Glenn, allow me to introduce Mayor and Mrs. Fisk.
They're here for counseling? Messy.
I usually like to start off with a couple of questions. What sparked you to come to therapy, and what would you like to get out of it?
I need my wife to start acting right so I can continue to be mayor, roughly.
Disappeared, really. I'm curious to hear more about that.
We both are. Wilson?
I couldn't stay in touch with Vanessa. I couldn't stay in communication with her. It was for the best.
For you?
Was it for the best for you, Vanessa?
I think in some ways.
Is your name Vanessa?
But was your husband's absence fulfilling for you personally?
It just might have been.
I was lonely.
Is that where Adam came in?
I'd like to hear from you, Wilson.
Let's see what victim narrative you spin.
Hey, I need you to drive to Fort Shrine Park, quickly.
So much harder for him to chase when he's not in that agile suit.
They have located you. They're coming to kill you. You need to come with me now.
They're here.
NYPD, open up!
And if I don't? Hi! What you doing here? I wouldn't.
Move.
No. What is that? And unfortunately, Matt can't see it.
Not here.
Don't smirk, Matt. It's literally like vibranium, you know, you just keep beating him up, it's gonna like build up the rage meter.
Oh, don't do this. Don't do this. You don't want to do this.
All right, he tried to warn you. Oh, that's what you get for beating up a blind man. Oh, God. Matt's like, I even wanted to whoop somebody's ass for a year. You were all getting... Oh, Matthew, please tell me that I just killed this man. Not 2 dead cops are on this guy. I mean, they're obviously not real cops, but he can't even see. What did that tell? Oh, you cracked the glasses. Okay. Wow. I mean, you wanted to scream for like a year, bro. Let's be real. That scream you've been holding in for the better part of a year. Yeah. Oh, man. Matthew. I really hope you didn't kill that guy. Probably not, though. Matt's pretty good about not killing people, even if they deserve it. Woo! That got spicy near the end. I like it. I like when Matt's angry. I don't know if you picked up on that yet. All right, guys. Well, second episode, we're getting into it now. And both Wilson and Matthew have both slipped a bit into their old habits, unsurprisingly. Because really, as Wilson put it, there's a dark side, a love of that violent side that both of them kind of revel in, even if they don't want to admit it. And, you know, truthfully, too, you can't be a certain way for the majority of your life and then just flip a switch no matter how much you want to. It's usually a process. And part of that process is accepting that this is genuinely something that is a problem for you because you do like it. And so anyway, wow, where do we start? So we have, we'll talk about Fisk first. Fisk having trouble settling into this whole, you know, being a legit person role. It's not something he's familiar with, right? He's used to being the kingpin, right? He did the things that he did. He ran things the way he ran them because he didn't have to go through red tape. If there was red tape, he literally cut it or stabbed it or punched it to death or slammed it between a car door. You get the point. Wilson didn't put up with any impediments. He's used to getting things done and doing it through fear and aggression. And now that he's got to do things the bureaucratic way, he's frustrated. he's really trying his best to deal with it, but it's not going well. You know, trying to win this, doing it the right way, he's not really cut out for that. He wants to do things now. And again, it's not to say that he doesn't genuinely want to see a vision of New York City that he believes is the right one, but it's more about the fact that he still doesn't realize that he is a narcissist and he's also crazy. And so kind of the way he wants to get that objective of what he believes is the New York City of his dreams, it's not gonna be something that everybody else is going to agree with. And also, he doesn't want to give up all the other things that he worked the first half of his life to achieve, i.e. his criminal empire, which he absolutely still has, but is being run by his wife now. So it's all a facade. In the end, it's all a front, but Wilson doesn't really want to admit that to anyone, including himself. And anyway, we're seeing that he's doing these little things like we saw with the pothole when he's like, yes, I'm the mayor, fix this hole right now. Yeah, you come here and do that because I'm the mayor and I get things done. Okay. I mean, not saying that's not a good thing. It's true that most people know that road work is one of the biggest pains in the butt no matter where you are, but there's usually a reason why permits and things are put in place. It's not just because people have nothing better to do, despite what people think. There's usually a whole set of very important things like safety standards and inspections and those kinds of things that need to happen before they do major things like roadworks, especially of a giant crater. Like that wasn't a little pothole, people. That was a crater, right? And so anyway, Wilson just thinking he can just snap his finger and get these done. Yeah, there might be repercussions to that. And I'm pretty sure he's not prepared to take the responsibility if those repercussions turn badly. If we know Wilson very well, he's going to either lose his temper or blame somebody else, because that's what he always does. But anyway, he finds out after meeting the niece of Mr. What's his name? Bernie was his name? Anyways, the cop from the first series, who I liked his character a lot and was very upset when he was taken out, but I digress. Looks like she's following in her uncle's footsteps. She is an investigative journalist who's very smart, and she clearly has put things together and has people she can talk to. And we see that Wilson recognizes right off the bat that she's not the kind of girl he'll be able to pull the wool over very easily. But I also believe that he's thinking of manipulating her or seeing if he can. So I do hope that our girl is smart enough to see through anything that Fisk or his people try to put her through. But I'm a little scared because, again, we know Fisk is not beyond using any means necessary. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. But either way, through his interview with BB, he finds out that, like she said, he finds out that the current police commissioner is planning to quit because he hates Fisk for obvious reasons, and because there's a lot of cops that are loyal to him, they're all planning to quit as well, and that's going to leave them at a very high deficit, not to mention it's going to give the city a feeling of even more unrest when they already feel uneasy about the fact that Daredevil is no longer around. And so BB basically lets him know that if the cops are not on with you, you're going to lose the city. Like, you're never going to get everyone to trust you fully. All your naysayers are going to grow. And so Wilson doesn't like this, and he tries, he attempts to do things the normal way by showing up at the funeral of the cop who's passed away. And, he attempts to have what he thinks is kind of a heartwarming conversation with this commissioner. But of course, the commissioner hates him. He knows that Fisk is full of it. He knows that Fisk is very good at putting on a proper face in public and being a demon in private. And so he basically is like, nah, I'm leaving. I know what you are. People like you don't change. He basically says all the things that are Fisk's worst fears. And this is why I say again, I mean, not enough people watched Echo for my liking, but if you watched Echo, there was a really good scene in that where Echo gets inside Fisk's head. It's a long story, but she basically drills down to the deepest, darkest fears of Fisk. And part of them is this whole idea of never being enough, not being able to accomplish what he wants to accomplish, being viewed in a negative way by the people around him. The fact that, he still feels like he wasn't good enough to stop his dad from doing these terrible things to his mom, like a lot of things. But to sum it all up, Fisk is a big ball of insecurity. And so the police commissioner are basically saying all the things that are all just tick boxes on Fisk's insecurity boxes. I could just see it. D'Onofrio is so good at keeping that stone face with that mild twitch that just let us know that I'm like, yeah, no, he's definitely coming for you now, bro. He does not take this very well. Fisk is not good when you push his buttons. He only takes so much. I knew he wasn't going to get violent, but I'm like, yeah, he's coming for you now. And so anyways, we see that the result of that is that Fisk, I guess, found out that that the commissioner has a love child, I guess, that the world doesn't know of. I'm not sure if that woman is a lover or if he was threatening that he was going to do something to either of them. But either way, he basically did exactly what the commissioner expected him to do, which was play dirty to keep him on. But I do like that the commissioner is like, oh, I'll stay on around, but be careful what you wish for. We'll see what happens. So, I mean, yeah, I think he's doing what he can to protect his child more likely than anything else, but I don't think he's going to make things easy for Fisk, although we all know that if you play with Fisk, he's going to get pretty nasty. But anyway, so that's what Fisk is dealing with, right? He's realizing that going the straight and narrow is not as easy as he'd like. He still has to kind of keep dabbling into that dark side because he's not the kind of person to wait. And speaking of things being on the straight and narrow, he also find out that the more traditional people in his constituency don't like the fact that Fisk's wife is not showing up. And she wasn't at the inauguration. She wasn't at his swearing in. She hasn't been in any of the press. She's just been, off camera. And I thought that was because she's dealing with the shady stuff, but it looks like Vanessa is in fact salty. And I mentioned in the last episode that it's very clear that the body language there is showing that they're distant. Vanessa's not feeling him right now. So it looks like she really is just trying to keep herself distant from him in all ways. And we see that it came, Fisk's advisor was like, she needs to show up, right? These people, the traditional voters like to see a stable married couple when they're looking at people who are in power. So he's like, all right, let me fix it and then see if I can get her on board, which led to, we see now a private session with Matt's new girlfriend, the therapist, and obviously an NDA she had to sign. But yeah, I guess that Fisk's assistant found her and decided she'd be the right person to try to counsel Vanessa back into Fisk's good graces, or the other way around, actually. Ingratiate Fisk back into hers. Either way, Fisk, I do think he loves Vanessa. That was made pretty clear in the first Daredevil series, but he's also, as I said, a narcissist, and he's someone who doesn't like to be denied what he wants. So, he's taking the soft approach for now, but I do wonder what would happen if Vanessa continues to be defiant, because as we heard, what I said last episode was true. She is loving the fact that she was able to run things, and as she made sure to point out to Fisk, like, I fixed the business. I had it running better than ever. Everyone loved me. Like, things were actually pretty good when you were gone. I actually did your job better than you, right? So her going out of her way to say all of that, it's not just coming from a place of, pride. I think it's also a little bit of resentment. As I mentioned last episode, the fact that he kind of came in and diminished her authority just by being there, but also I think he's basically expecting her to become a trophy wife again, which is not something that she wants to do. So anyways, we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, Fisk and family counseling. Who'd have thought? Anyway, so that's that. And actually, speaking about the trial and speaking of that funeral of a cop that I mentioned, we are introduced to a new character played by Mr. Kamar Los Reyes, I think it is. R.I.P. to him. He passed away late last year, unfortunately. And it looks like he was probably not doing so well when he was filming this show, bringing back Chadwick Boseman memories. But anyways, R.I.P. to him. This was his last film credit, I believe. But anyway, he is the White Tiger who's been going around and, another vigilante kind of in the way of Daredevil. The difference being it looks like he has no superpowers or anything. It's just he's a very good fighter. Anyway, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Basically, he intervened to what he thought was a jumping, and it turned out they were two undercover cops. But I see that one of those cops has a tat, and I'm gonna have to see what that tat's about. I didn't get a chance to look at it very well, but either way, he didn't know that they were two undercover cops, and in the scuffle of him trying to protect this person, one of these cops ended up in front of a train. Did he really mean to take him out? I'm gonna say no, but I mean, I can't believe he didn't hear the train coming. It was getting pretty late. Even I knew the train. But anyways, I don't think he actually thought, I'm going to throw him into the train. The guy jumped him and he literally redirected his energy to get him off him like it was a fighting move. But yes, it happened to be on the tracks and a train happened to be coming at that very moment. And so unfortunately, that man died. And one could say that it was, if anything, it's second degree, right? It's third degree. It's manslaughter. If you're getting specific, honestly, it was self-defense. But because he technically intervened, I guess it would be manslaughter. Anyways, digressing. This is what happened to this poor man. And we see that, of course, when he was arrested, the cops are trying to pin everything on him because it's very clear these cops are up to something they're not supposed to be up to, right? If it was a stereotypical undercover mission, they would have identified, as soon as the witness ran away, they would have identified themselves, but they didn't. So something shady was definitely going on, although in fairness, they did keep trying to tell him to take off, but still. So anyways, they're trying to pin this murder on him, and we all know that things don't go well when someone is accused of taking out a cop, so it's bad. They're trying to force him into confession. Matt hears it, and he decides to intervene because he knows that this man is telling the truth about the whole thing being an accident, and that the only reason he even got involved was because he was trying to protect somebody. And so this whole thing thing kind of becomes a parallel for some of the stuff that Matt is dealing with. Of course, he doesn't know that he's the White Tiger when he takes on the case, but we see later on when he figures out that that's the case, it becomes much more personal for Matt because he has been struggling with who he is without the suit, right? He's really trying to lead himself into this lawyer stuff. It's not the first time he's done it either. He did it in the first series too, but that anger, that rage, the devil, that's as they call it, that sits in Matt, it gets restless when it doesn't get to come out and play. And this whole thing with this case is touching a little close to home as we see Cherry tell him. But anyways, thankfully, Matt is able to use his own deduction skills because what use is Cherry really? Anyway, Matt decides he figures out that one of these cops, the surviving cop, must know something, and thankfully follows him and is able to figure out that this man does in fact exist and where he is. And so that, of course, as we saw at the end, we got to see the demon come back out again, which was so fun to see. Oh my gosh, Matt was dying. He was dying to kick somebody's butt. And I really love the way, like I said, it kind of reminded me of, how Black Panther's suit has that kinetic energy where you keep kicking him and it builds up all the kinetic energy and then eventually just loses it. That was Matt, right? Every kick and punch those cops gave him, he was like, yes, give me a reason to rage. I haven't been beaten up in so long. Because we know Matt actually somehow gets a high off of getting his ass whooped. So anyway, and then you see when they pull the gun, Matt's like, please don't make me don't make me open, the devil wants to come out, don't make me do it. But they was gonna do it, so Matt did what needed to be done. And now, I mean, like I said, one of those guys fell what looked like on his neck. So I'm hoping Matt didn't actually take him out. But the nice thing is most people are not going to believe that a blind guy was able to do all that. Now, the problem here is we don't know who these men were working for or what was happening. And as I said, we all know that Fisk is keeping an eye out on Matt, right? He said, if I see you acting like Daredevil one time, I'm coming for you. So I don't know if this counts because Matt wasn't in the suit and this was self-defense, but we'll see what happens when they try to figure out what happened to these two cops and how they got beat up by a blind dude. So yeah, both, like I said, both Fisk and Maddie, they both unfortunately slipped up this episode. They both kind of slid into the men that they're trying to avoid being, but we all know that it's a slippery slope. Like once you start going that direction, they're probably going to keep descending into it. And Matt's probably going to have to don it again because even though these corrupt cops might be out of the picture for now, I don't think that this is it. Like I feel like this is definitely something that goes deeper. They showed us that tattoo for a reason. And in this world, in these shows where Daredevil's concerned, usually those tattoos lead to something that's a lot bigger. Maybe he's one of the 5 families, maybe it's something else. But yeah, I highly doubt that Matt interfering in this is going to go well for him at all. And I have a feeling maybe him and the White Tiger might have to work together. Not against it. We'll see. But yeah, another good episode. I'm really liking these parallels like they're putting between Matt and Fisk and how they're trying to walk these interesting lines of these masks that they've put on, as Matt's girlfriend would say, of who they're trying to project through those masks versus who they actually are inside, and the fact that neither of them really want to face that just yet. So I think that was it, right? Was that the main things we dealt with this episode? Yeah, I think so. The cops, yeah, all that. So yeah, another good episode, definitely solid. I like the way that they're giving us a little bit of that action and that adrenaline stuff, but they're still also building up to what's eventually going to become a mess. I'm just going to figure out what that mess is just yet, because Fisk being mayor is not enough. There's got to be more than that. And I don't think Fisk is actually directly involved yet, but I still have a sneaking suspicion that maybe Vanessa set something in motion while Fisk was away, and that whatever that is going to be kind of coming to a culmination point, or is going to become something that grabs Matt's attention very soon. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see. I'm interested in seeing what that is. So yeah, another good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I will see you in the next one.